All right, let me have a talk with you guys about something I overheard this morning. A couple of salespeople were in here earlier. They were talking about cheese. What's cheese?
What's cheese?
What's cheese?
Like drugs?
No, it's what they're talking about is upper management giving certain people deals.
They're called house deals.
Yeah.
Okay? Now I'm going to guess the top 10 guys up there probably get the most house deals.
I just learned what that meant. So.
House deal? It means there's a prospect, a hot prospect. Someone wants to buy a car and they're going to a manager first. So the manager is going to give that deal to a salesperson. What kind of salespeople do you think they give those deals to?
High closing percentage. I would assume. That'd be the smart thing to do. Right?
They give them to the best salespeople. They give them to the salespeople that will close at a higher rate. They give them to the salespeople who will work the deals properly. They give them to the salespeople who will do a good delivery and good follow-up. A lot of people think that's called favoritism, and it is absolutely favoritism. You want to be one of those people that get house deals. You want to be one of those people that other salespeople bitch about. You don't want to be one of those people that nobody ever bitches about, because if nobody's ever bitching about you, that means you're not selling any cars or trucks. Look, this business is full of negativity, if you will. Okay, you're going to catch a lot of crap from customers. Customers treat automobile salespeople terribly. It's almost like you're taught in school to be a good citizen, tell the truth, read the Bible. Unless you're on a car dealer's lot, then anything goes. You can lie to them all you want to. You can abuse them all you want to because they're just car salespeople. Management isn't always the best. You guys are pretty blessed here. You've got some decent managers. Make no mistake.
We do.
But most automotive sales managers were salespeople one day, sales managers the next, and the skill sets that required for selling a car are completely different from the skill sets required for managing a sales team. And sales managers get less training than any other people in the dealership. Technicians get the most, salespeople get the second most. Managers are a distant last place. So, there's a lot of negativity among salespeople. There's a lot of bitching and moaning. Stay out of those circles. Okay? Someone's bitching and moaning about bad management, bad advertising, bad product, whatever, bad weather, bad time of the year. You'll hear it all. It doesn't do you any good to engage yourself in conversations with those people. Somebody's bitching about so-and-so getting cheese, make note. The guy getting cheese is doing something right. That's what you want to be. You want to be the guy getting the cheese. You want to be the guy getting the house deals. And how do you do that? You get good at your job. And you know, the beautiful thing about this business is the competition sucks for the most part. Competition within the store, competition from the other stores. It ain't very good. You're not going to get any training like you got when you were with Southwest. It just doesn't exist in the car business. Should, but it doesn't. I've been training automobiles. I've trained almost 250,000 automobile salespeople. I've trained for every Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep store in the country, every Chevrolet store in the country. I've done DVDs for Chevrolet. I've trained for every Mazda store in the country. And the quality of training that automotive salespeople get is abysmal. Most automotive sales trainers actually teach you to fail. They teach you strategies right out of the 70s and 80s. And this is 2018, baby. And it's and this town here, of all the stores I work with, is probably lags behind every other city when it comes to how people are buying cars. It's going to come to Jackson too, make no mistake. It's going to get a whole lot rougher before it gets easier. But if you know what you're doing, if you're on the cutting edge, if you're studying your profession, if you've got a YouTube channel, if you're using social media, I mean, you can blow by everybody in this part of the damn state. So, avoid the negative BS you're going to hear around here that some people call it stink and think, and it's a good name for it. When someone's bitching about cheese, make note, you want to be like the guy getting the cheese, not the guy bitching about it. Okay? What else was I going to talk to you about?
How'd you get in the car business?
I couldn't find a job anywhere else. I'd been interviewing. I'd go to places where I'd get there at 9 o'clock, take a battery of tests, go out to lunch with some executive, then go through a series of interviews in the afternoon. And I did that about 10 times, and this was back before email or cell phones. I'd get a letter 3 days later going, yeah, you're a very nice guy, but we just don't need your ass, you know. So I was talking to my father. He was a lifetime salesman. He sold for IBM. He goes, you ever thought about selling? I said, well, I had a master's degree. I said, why would I want to sell? I've got a master's degree. And he looks at me like the dumbass I was. He goes, well, there may be some opportunities. So I went to the Help Wanted section in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Started with the letter A under Help Wanted Sales, and guess what popped up? Automotive. So I called the Chevrolet store, and they said, yeah, sure, come on down. I said, what time? They said, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I said, when am I going to take the battery test, go out to lunch with the executive, and go through a series of interviews in the afternoon? I said, I better show up at 9 o'clock. That person must not have known what they were talking about. So I showed up at 9 o'clock. Receptionist says, sit down. Some guy walks out, introduces himself. And I'll give you the interview. In fact, Bubba, you be me, I'll be the guy that interviewed me. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Bubba, you like people?
Yes, sir.
You like cars?
Yes, sir.
When can you start? Now, I thought this guy appreciated my resume and my education. So I was so fired up. I mean, luckily this was before drug testing. I floated out of this place.
More ways than one.
Yeah. And I was jacked out of my mind, man. Somebody said yes. So I go home and tell my wife at the time. And she goes, you're going to do what? Because I was a bartender. You know, I waited tables and bartended through graduate school. So I was still a bartender. And she goes, you're going to do what? I said, I'm going to sell new Chevy cars and trucks. It's going to be great. She goes, God, bartending's better than that. Told my old man, I figured, you know, he was a salesman. I'm going to be a salesman. He'd be happy. He ranted and raved about the money he wasted on my education. I had to get all new friends. Because I didn't realize car salespeople had such a bad reputation.
Jaden was on
Yeah, so you can imagine, by the time I get through talking to my friends and my parents and my wife, I think I've got a shitty job. So I'm going to do it until I can find something better. Well, I sold 9 cars the first month. I went to work for a company called Bill Hurd Chevrolet. At one time, they sold more Chevrolets than anybody. They sold 5% of all the Chevrolets in the country. They had 8 or 9 stores. These were big ass stores. All these guys, except for Sam, all your managers. Brad didn't. Attaway did, Murley did, and John Dunn all came from the Bill Hurd organization. Okay. Well, they spent more money on advertising than anybody. We had traffic all the time. This was during the recession too. It's 1979, 1980. This was bad times. So next month, I got 7 out on the 15th, and the manager calls me into his office. I figure I might be getting promoted. Well, he wasn't there to promote me, he was there to fire me. And he says, Steve, this job ain't for you. I said, what do you mean? He said, it ain't for you. Okay, you don't think it's a good job? He goes, I'll ask you, you'll lie to me, but are you looking for another job? I said, oh no. I said, you just lied to me, didn't you? You had me cold. I said, true. He goes, look, because you're a nice kid, you got a nice education, go find something that you like, something you can be proud of. You ain't proud to be a car salesman. You don't like being a car salesman. Then he points at a guy. This guy was probably in his late 30s, early 40s then, so he was old to me. He said, that guy doesn't have a high school degree. I don't know whether it was 6th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. Don't know when he quit school. But here's what I do know. He thinks he's got the greatest job in the world, and he makes more money than 95% of the people in our country. He thinks it's great to be a car salesman. He's a professional. You're not. And that's the bottom line, Steve. He goes, I'm glad you had this 6 weeks worth of experience, but go find something you can sink your teeth into. Well, the only thing worse to me at that point in my life than being a car salesman was being fired as a car salesman. So this is where I learned my grovel close. one of the many grovel closes. So I start going, no, give me another chance, blah, blah. You know, I know I can do it, I know I can do it. And he finally says, Steve, I'll tell you what. He said, I'll give you one more day. He said, if you can conduct yourself like you're going to be in this car business for the rest of your life, I'll give you a second day. He said, if you can do it 2 days in a row, I'll give you a third. He said, if you can make it for the next 15 days this month, pretending, because you'll have to pretend because you don't believe it, pretending you're going to be in the car business for the rest of your life and doing the things that's required to be successful in this business, he goes, a couple things will happen. Number one, you'll have a better idea whether the business is for you. Number two, you're going to make more money. Number three, I'm going to make more money. So as you can fake it, I'll give you 1 day at a time. And I asked him the smartest question that I maybe ever asked anybody. I said, what would one do tomorrow if one planned on being in the business for the rest of his life? He gave me a list of things. And that man, it was probably a 45-minute meeting. He taught me more about how to make a living than all my education combined. I learned more in 45 minutes about professional life than I did in graduate school, undergraduate school, high school. Because he said something to me. He said, Steve, you're trying automotive sales till something better comes along. He goes, that ain't ever going to work. He said, it takes someone committed to it. He said, it's not for everybody. And when I meet young salespeople or new salespeople, I tell them it's not for everybody, but don't just try it. Don't just tiptoe, stick your toe in the water. Jump in the water, head first. In 90 or 120 days, Mason, you may say this business just sucks. Or you may find that you can sell 25, 30, 35, 45 cars a month, easy. You know, why there's not 5 or 6 or 7 people selling 30 cars a month here, I do not understand. Because again, I've known a lot of dealers in my life, and I work with 40 automobile dealers right now consistently. Nobody markets like Sam Hamity does. Nobody spends the kind of money that Sam Hamity spends to bring people into this store, for salespeople to help buy cars. And but what that tells me is if you choose to, you can be a high dollar, high producing salesperson here. And it don't take a year, it doesn't take 2 years, it doesn't take 3, 4, 5 years. You can do it right off the bat. This is the most level of all playing fields. My brother, my youngest brother, he went to 3 different high schools. We never moved. He kept getting kicked out. We've never seen his degree. We don't know that he has got a high school degree. but this will be the 7th or 8th year in a row, he W-2s at over $1 million a year. He kills it. He went to work, he was a finance manager at 18 years old. He started, he didn't sell cars, started as a finance manager. I mean, it's a great business, not just to make money. It's a great business, great way to create a life. My middle brother, he got in the business. I got him in the business selling cars. He became a general manager. He's retired. Your competition sucks. That's the beautiful thing about it. Again, I'm not talking just about the Toyota competition or the Nissan competition or the Ford competition. Most salespeople suck, not because they're bad human beings either. Most salespeople become salespeople. No, not at all. Most salespeople become salespeople because whatever they meant to do in life didn't work out. So they jump into the business and they're going to try it until something better comes along. You can't do it that way. You gotta bust your ass. Sam, I just told them that I probably know 1,000 automobile dealers, and I work with 40 of them consistently right now. And I don't know of any other dealer that spends as much money marketing in order to bring prospects in for salespeople to sell.
That's right, baby.
Well, I looked up on the board and I said, I don't know why there's not 7 salespeople selling 30 cars a month here.
Yeah.
And what I just told them is, I said, your competition sucks. I said, whether it's at Toyota, at Ford, Nissan, or even right here, your competition sucks. Don't look up to the 8-car a month car salesperson. Avoid him or her, as the case may be. Have lunch with them if you want to. I wouldn't. Have drinks with them if you want to. I wouldn't. Seek out the best and the brightest. Seek out the people that are getting the cheese from the managers, because the managers know that they're the best ones to give the cheese to.
We don't give cheese to people that don't perform.
And nor should we. All right. I'll send you this video.